up, guys? I'm just gonna go ahead and start away because I don't know who is, coming on, who's not coming on, but I forgot to label this one. I should probably label it. Or I should probably... The reason why I label it is because people need to know like what they're getting themselves into when they click into my live stream. I don't want to just be like super intense and then someone come on about it and then not know. So I think a good title for this one would be storytelling live streams, something like that. And we also go into quotes, and I also go into I also read off some lyrics too, just like as the expressive part of this live stream. So yeah, and check the time. Okay, live stream. Well, I guess we can get right into it. Miles Davis. Quote: "If you want to keep creating, you have to be about change." Jojo, we're doing a live stream.
Are we?
Welcome to the live stream, Jojo.
I'm on part of this.
Jojo's my roommate. His favorite color is blue.
Yes.
If you want to keep creating, you have to be about change. And just a heads up, I was letting people know that, that this is storytelling. It's live stream with me. It's storytelling. So if you guys aren't really into stories or whatnot, then, you guys don't have to tune in every week. But if you guys are a fan of stories, this is a great place to tune in and to get a story, more specifically my story. So the quote says, and if you guys are just tuning in, I do a quote and then I read off some lyrics and then I go into like a personal story or whatnot. So I start off with this quote: Miles Davis, "If you want to keep creating, you have to be about change." I watched this Miles on Netflix, and I watched the whole thing because I'm learning about jazz, I'm learning about music and stuff like that. And the quote right in the beginning of the documentary says, "If you want to keep creating, you have to be about change." And that really resonated with me, because I really do believe that. I've had to change so much since probably since the age of 21, or like 21, 22, 23. I've been really making like some serious changes in my life, and I agree that if you want to keep creating, you have to be about change. So let's get into the lyrics. Bitches treat my nuance like it was a nuisance. So I was like, fuck 'em. Fuck 'em. I did my own shit. And now I'm up. And now all that paid off. And they peaked in high school. I always had confidence. I ain't never been nervous. I ain't never had anxiety. I ain't never second guessed myself. If I want it, I go get it. I'm always on go mode. I just go. I don't know what fear is. And you talk about that bitch, I'm him. I'm him. I'm that bitch. It's funny, right? For some reason, y'all really didn't think we was going to be here. See, for y'all, the sky is the limit. For us, the sky is just what we stand on to reach the beyond. I love those lyrics. I really do. To me, they say, it's just really, really powerful. It's just, like honest, true. That's how we all feel. We all feel like, you told us that we couldn't, but then we went out and we did. And I think that's, in essence, like who we are at our core. Somebody tells us that we can't do something, and then we go out and we do it. So I've already talked to you guys last week about my dad, getting into it between my dad. I think a lot of people they didn't really know what happened between me and my dad, but if you watch last week's episode, then you'll get a tad bit into that. You'll get a sneak bit into that. And the week before that, I shared a story, and I think the first time that I got on here and I did a live stream, I talked about some dude just straight up spitting on me in the shower when I was in juvenile hall. And those are always the best stories, right? Because you're like, you don't know how they're going to end. You don't really know which way they're going to go. So last week I shared a story about me and my dad and how we got into it and how I pulled a knife out on my father, and how I've come a long way since then, and how that part of my life doesn't have a hold on me as much as it used to, because I feel like I learned from that part of my life. You have to go back and watch the other vlogs to get the full context, but I wanted to share a story with you guys this week. And someone had just come on, and then I'm not sure if they're still on or if they left, but I'm thinking that they left, because not everybody can squeeze a live stream with Bash into their schedule. Everybody's doing something, everybody's busy. And so, I mean, to keep it light, but also to keep it interesting, I'm trying to think about some epic story for you guys. That's how you guys. I mean, last week I talked about my dad, so maybe this week I can talk a little bit more about my mom. Dinner. And it was in Corona, and we went to Mi Tortilla, which is one of my mom's favorite restaurants. And I was doing really well with my mom at the time, and it hasn't always been like that. It's been kind of a struggle with me and my family to get along. It just kind of seems like my whole life I was like on a different page than the rest of my family, and I really, really attribute that to my dad. He's kind of always been on his own page, doing his own independent thing, and so I think I inherited, or I acquired some of those attributes from my dad. So me and my mom were out to lunch, and we're having a pretty good lunch, and we're drinking as well. And we normally don't. But you know what? Like, I'm so happy to see my mom. I'm drinking a drink, and I think I'm drinking a drink. Yeah, I was. And my mom was also drinking a drink too. And we just got to talking, and I think we started to talk about like relationships and family, and I started to kind of like talk to my mom about a couple things, and then I crossed the line at one point in our conversation, and it really struck a chord with my mom, but not in a good way. And so she told me that she wasn't having this conversation with me anymore. And yes, when I started pushing a little bit more, my mom told me that she was going to be leaving. And in my mind, I don't know why, I just felt like this was going to be the right thing to do. In my mind, I was like, I can't let her leave like I've let other people that I've had to have that I've tried to have relationships with in the past. I can't let her leave like I let, let's say, one of my exes leave. I was married, and things didn't exactly work out with my ex. That would be another future story for you guys. But I really decided that I couldn't let my mom leave, just like, my wife left, right? So my mom tried to leave our breakfast, and she did, but not without me imposing myself on her. I stepped in front of my mom's driver side of the door, and I was like, how can you leave? You can't leave. We're in the middle of a conversation. What sense does this make for you to leave in the middle of our conversation? And something I learned that day from my mom is that when she's done talking, she's done talking. And that's the relationship between a mom and her son. And I think that's something that, I knew, but it's something that I was trying to test with my mom, and my mom was not having it. So, yeah, it got to the point where I was kind of forced to leave. I was kind of forced to allow my mom to get up from the conversation and get in her car and drive off in the middle of breakfast. And that was a really tough day, I think, for both of us. Me, my mom, just kind of bailing out on me. That's how I felt. And then my mom, her son, imposing herself on her. It was a lose-lose situation. And in actuality, I haven't been out with my mom in that specific setting for over just under a year now. That's how long that the repercussions of that day have extended. And my mom recently texted me what I wanted for Christmas, and I told her that I'd like to get together with her. I told her that it'd be nice if we could get together, and this time I wouldn't put myself in a situation where one of us was forced to leave the conversation, and I wouldn't put us in a situation where I would impose myself on my mom like I did last Valentine's Day. And so my mom seemed generally pretty positive about my request. She didn't answer me directly, but she seemed to appreciate the gesture of me reaching out to her. And yeah, so that's it in a nutshell. That's the story between me and my mom, and our conversation not ending like it should, like a mother and son conversation should. But there's obviously a lot of things that were, that I didn't take into consideration going to meet my mom for a Valentine's dinner. And there is a lot to be talked about with my mom, about our family and our family dynamics and the direction that our family's going. But that is work for a later day. I really appreciate you guys every week on these live streams. Today's story was a little bit more chill. Sometimes these stories can be a little intense, but a story is a story, and the way you tell the story, I think that's what attracts people. So shared my story with you guys today. Appreciate you guys coming on in these live streams every week. I don't smoke weed, but my eyes are just naturally chilled out, kind of low, a little bit low, or not so open. If I missed out any questions or details that you guys would like me to go through, just leave them in the comments below. If you guys aren't following my studio page on Instagram, it's at Joe Bash, Joe, which is my roommate's name, Bash, which is my name, my artist name, and _. And you guys should be able to find us on Instagram. Appreciate you guys.